Hello and welcome to another How to Code Well web chat. My name is Peter Fisher, and whilst the Magic Mouse is charging up, I thought I would do another video regarding trade secrets in the web development community. I've been asked a couple of times why I do the videos and am I risking disclosing trade secrets to other people who want to join the web development community, people who want to learn how to program, how to code, and it's mainly being asked by people who are outside of the web development industry. So people in other industries asking, why do you produce these videos? Aren't you risking disclosing some trade secrets that that only you know because you've experienced those things, and aren't you risking, you know, competition coming alongside? So to give you some background as to why I started this YouTube channel way back in 2012, it basically started off from a conversation that I had by a recruitment agent. It was basically one of these conversations you have where you hear what they say, and then it only kind of rings true later on down the line. And basically they said that it's great that you've got this CV. Obviously, I know that you know these kind of, you know, what you say on the CV. It's difficult for the companies to decide who is who, you know, the best fit. It would be far easier if there was a way that you can demonstrate your skills and show that to potential companies. I thought nothing of it until a couple of weekends after that conversation, and I thought, well, you know, there is a one way of demonstrating the stuff I know, and that was through YouTube. So do a couple of YouTube tutorials, and at the time I decided, I've got no idea why I decided to do it, but I decided to do it in MySQL, and I did those. I think 3 or 4, and then I totally forgot about YouTube. Now I don't know whether or not the YouTube tutorials were ever watched, or whether it helped me get that position. So after that, I basically turned my back on YouTube because I didn't want to invest any more time in doing tutorials. I wasn't really great with marketing that. I didn't have time, you see. I didn't have any time to make any more videos. In my head, that had allowed me to have a portfolio, an online portfolio. Whether it was used or not, like I said, I've got no idea. But it was purely out of selfish reasons as to why I had the YouTube channel, and that was to have an online portfolio. So several years after that, I decided to upload some more videos, but they weren't anything to do with web development. They were just personal videos that I was asked to produce and do it privately and send the links off. And I thought, well, hey, I've already got a YouTube channel, so I would, you know, I'd just have a look. I logged in for the first time in several years, and I noticed that there were a couple of comments from people asking where the next part of the tutorials were coming, when it was next coming, and I was astonished by the fact that people were actually using those videos as a way of teaching themselves MySQL. God knows why I chose MySQL to begin with. It's not the easiest thing to talk about over a video, demonstrate over a video. So I thought, gosh, there's a niche in the market there. There are people who are wanting to learn MySQL and web development. At the time, though, I was extremely busy with work, but in the back of my mind, I always thought that I should pick it up again. When I just had a bit of downtime, I decided to pick it up, but do it a little bit more properly. And there was a couple of times where I picked it up and put it down again, and picked it up and put it down again. I've seen that there is a lot of people wanting tutorials. They've liked the early tutorials that I've done, and so I thought, well, why not? And so the thinking has kind of evolved from this selfish point of view, where I'm just wanting to demonstrate my skills, to allowing and helping other people to enhance their skills. And it's very fulfilling to be able to do a series of videos. I did one recently on HTML. I've got one in PHP. I've done stuff in Docker, and obviously in MySQL. And it's very rewarding to know that you are helping other people to do that and to learn new skills. Now, I don't have a huge amount of time. I work, I'm a freelancer, I'm a contractor, so you know, it's the time I can spend on this channel is very limited. But what I've learnt to do in the last few years is sort of time box it and be a little bit more efficient with my time. So, for example, I do a lot of videos very, very early in the morning, or I do videos over the weekend. That means that I've got the Monday to Friday sort of box, if you will, to do the stuff that actually pays the bills. And that's another point that I wish to make. I'm not actually making a large amount of money off of this. In fact, it's basically enough to buy a couple of coffees a month. It's not. I don't see this right now as a money-making machine, certainly not. I can't invest any more time in this channel that is going to impinge on the stuff that actually pays the bills. That's why I've time-boxed it to weekends and extremely early in the mornings, and I'm talking about 5 a.m. type times, where you know it is time-boxed. If I'm not able to produce the videos in time, then that's just a sacrifice that I'm going to have to make. And I have made, you know, I have skipped on some videos because I just haven't been able to have the time to utilize that, because as you know, as a freelancer, you don't have a 9-to-5 job. It's not something that you can just suddenly switch off. But what I've found is that I can produce, say on a Sunday, quite a few videos, and then upload them in a batch overnight, and then sort of do it that way. So I've got a number of videos that are waiting to go through, and that's really helpful when I'm really busy, because I don't produce videos all the time. It's usually in bulk. So when I do like the HTML tutorial series, for example, I basically did all of that over the course of a couple of weekends. And then I've been able to schedule that every week. So back when I was learning web development, when I was studying web development, I was obviously being taught through my lectures, college, university, but I was also self-teaching. And at that time, the best place to go for self-teaching on the net was forums. So I was using things like DevShed. During the time when you know, Stack Overflow just wasn't invented, it wasn't even an idea. And I badgered these guys on these forums to teach me how to understand certain concepts that I was probably not grasping quick enough through the courses, things like certain elements of object-oriented programming and so forth. And some of them actually took me under their wing and helped me out a great deal. I was showing them my code and they were picking it apart, and not just solving the problem, but also talking around the problem as well, demonstrating various elements around the core problem to give me a better understanding of certain things in programming. And you know, this kind of way of writing code and doing a screencast and talking about what I'm typing on the screen, as well as talking about the various aspects around what I'm typing on the screen, if it was like, say, a console command or something like that. It's kind of very similar, but it's obviously done in a different format. So this is kind of my way, I suppose, of maybe giving back to the community in that sense. It's not a sort of like a this is what I know or this is what you don't know kind of thing. It's certainly not like that. If I can help out in any kind of way, then I love to do that. In fact, off the back of this YouTube channel, I've been asked to do all sorts of things in terms of like teaching in person to groups of people. I've taught people in various countries over Skype and other things like that, remotely accessed their machines and typed code through their IDE, and I've looked at their code and so forth. And I love doing that. That to me is, it's just sharing knowledge. So I I don't see that this is a risky thing to do. In my opinion, there's no risk of teaching someone else how to do your job, because at the end of the day, those people are going to bring so much more to the table that you possibly don't have, because they have different experiences, they have different views and opinions, and they might be able to see the problem slightly differently, and so you might both gain from it, and that's a beautiful thing. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you've liked this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to pick up the web chats as well as the tutorials that I do each week. If you wish, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @PFWD. Thanks again, happy coding, see you again next week.